all 12 grades in the school across here in Powell. And the high school teacher, the 3 high school teachers and the superintendent, and they all taught classes, full-time teaching. The down in the grades, the first 8 grades, there were two classes in each room. One teacher taught 2 classes, and managed nicely, I think. Wouldn't you?
Probably.
We learned, especially Mr. Grace taught 7th and 8th grade. I think Mr. Grace was he carried a sharp pencil, and anybody misbehaved got stuck with that sharp. So anyway, we thought we might tell you something about the high school. When we were there, we went, this is from about 1938 until I didn't graduate, but Charlie did in 42. And we took trips when I was a sophomore and a junior, and he came in when he was a senior. But we all went, all 4 grades of the high school went to Washington, D.C. when I was a sophomore, which was 1938. All 4 classes in the school bus. Jim Brown drove the school bus, and we went roaring down the mountains. And then he put on the brakes right at the bottom of the mountains, and so by the time we got to Washington, we had no brakes on the school bus. So here we went, dragging into Washington City, carrying our suitcases, and then the bus went off to a garage, so the brakes had to be fixed. Then when I was a junior, we went up to Detroit. The war was coming on, and we took shorter trips. And when we went across into Canada and had our junior senior banquet in Windsor, Canada, just across the line. The Depression was still strong. It was the hard times. And I remember going to Columbus and buying my dress for the junior senior banquet. And I thought it was beautiful. It was black, and it had white lace here with little sparkles. And I paid $1 for it, $1. But those were the times. Yes, hard times, really. And then Charlie, you tell them about your New York trip.
Oh, I came down to Powell School in the middle of my junior year, and our spring trip was to New York City and all the New England states. Then we crossed over into Canada and came back down through eastern Cleveland and came back home. But I don't remember a whole lot about it. We had our junior senior banquet in, I forget what restaurant in New York. We had to have $10 spending money with us. And we'd worked all year to get enough money to pay for the gas.
Was it like a week-long trip or longer?
It was a 8 or 9 days.
Uh-huh.
And you rode in the school bus?
Oh, yes.
And you stayed in, they didn't have motels, they had tourist camps. And they had little cabins. I remember upstate New York, almost froze to death. It was cold. And that was in May, I believe it was. And no heat, because the facilities weren't like they are now. And like Donna said, all 4 high school classes were on one bus, and I think it was a 48 passenger. It wasn't a very big bus. And I know when I graduated my senior class, there were 6 graduates,
6 students.
Mhm.
and that's about all I